Hey, it's Chaplain Milton, and I'm here with David Harms from India Partners. Thank you for being with us. Really appreciate your time.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. We've got a great project ahead of us, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Exactly. And speaking of that, what's on my mind right now, David, is just this. I go back to the beginning of the Bible, Genesis, where, everything just blew up, right? Mm-hmm. Perfect existence. And then God says, listen, a war is about to happen. I'm paraphrasing, of course, the Chaplain Milton version, but a war is about to happen. It's a fight for lives, for souls. And KTSY and India Partners are about to partner up to join this battle.
Yeah.
We want to hear about what exciting things are ahead of us.
Well, we're pretty excited too because we've not done this before in the sense of partnering and looking at how people can come alongside and connect with a particular spot on the map.
Yeah.
But that's what the hope is here, that we can partner together with everybody watching, listening, and come alongside a village or two, maybe three, depending on the funds raised.
Okay.
I'm getting a little crazy.
Yes, you are.
But the purpose of it is simply there are places in India, very remote India, where there are people that have no clean water, and it's causing children to die. It's causing all kinds of sickness. Wow. And they have no understanding of the gospel. Nobody has ever come to them to present Jesus.
Yeah.
And so what we do with this whole project that we're calling Team Transformation is to look at both sides of that equation. I kind of think of it as living water in every way, shape, and form, right? So we want to bring in some of the physical needs that are there, clean water being front and center, but simultaneously make sure that as we do this, there is a presentation and an understanding of the gospel. May not be sitting on a soapbox and preaching quite yet.
Yeah.
We're going to start with relationship, and the water is going to be the key to that. But then it leads into all kinds of economic and educational support so that we can eventually plant a church in that village.
So our kind of mode of attacking this thing is it's a holistic mode as you had described it, which is we go in, we don't just worry about preaching the gospel, we worry about the true needs. There are children dying, you said, there's water needs, there's health needs, infrastructure needs, economic needs, and we're going to tackle all of that in this partnership. And that, to me, sounds very exciting and very unique approach to bringing the gospel. You were telling me about a couple of stories of how this approach has impacted some lives.
Yeah, well, I've been in several of these kind of, I call them like the beta villages. It's kind of where we tried this out and said, is this going to work? If this on theory works, will it work in real life? And it has wonderfully so.
Oh, wonderful.
And to the point where people are starting in those areas to kind of hear about what's going on with the villages where we've just kind of started to work. And there are hundreds of villages that are in need of this. But basically, I remember one very particular talking to a young girl at 12-ish years old. And she was in one particular village, and I don't know the whole story, but she somehow came to an understanding of Jesus. Like she became a follower of Jesus. Immediately, basically excommunicated from her, not just family, but her village. And so here she is, 12, 13 years old, and she kind of had connected with the staff that was working on the ground. And she so burdensomely, that's a word, wants her family to know Jesus, but she's not even welcome back into her village.
Wow.
Because of what she believes. But she has such a passion for it. She was and is under the belief that if water goes in, that can be the leading edge toward their understanding, not just her parents and her family, but the entire village, their understanding of the gospel. So she was enthusiastic to hear that we were working in that direction.
That's awesome.
And the other story that still strikes me so amazingly in terms of the spiritual side of it is, again, a different village, no water well, very sick children, to the point of death situations.
Wow.
And a mom comes up to me as we're kind of scouting out this area, and she's holding a baby that is clearly sick, very sick, like to the point of death kind of sick. And as we started talking, through the translator, of course, she simply says this: "We hear you're looking at putting a water well in and working with us." And she said, "If you do that, and if that will heal my baby, I will believe in your Jesus."
Wow.
She was that blunt with it.
Wow.
They're so desperate.
Yeah.
In the physical side, that they are wide open to the spiritual side. And you have to understand how the climate of India is right now, especially in this area. Conversion to Christianity is illegal Like you can be a believer, but you can't convert to being a Jesus follower. That's the law, right? And yet this woman is saying, I'm desperate enough.
Right.
This happens, I'll believe in your Jesus.
Yeah.
And so this work is very, very cutting edge in so many different ways.
Yeah.
That's why we're excited about it and hoping we can take on the needs of a village or two, or I don't know, maybe 3. We'll see what happens with this.
So I bet you there's somebody watching right now like, wow, that is exciting. I want to get involved. I want to support. I want to do something about this. What are some of the things we could be asking them to do right now?
Well, we're going to start with something as simple as partnership of financially.
Yeah.
$29 a month.
Okay.
And with that, you will get quarterly, if not monthly, updates from the village. You'll start to see the teams going out into that area. You'll meet the people of the village. So there will be communication back and forth on that. So yeah, the financial piece is a big piece because those wells are anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 just for the water well.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's one of the first things we can do. Obviously, we're going to start with prayer as you have been doing.
Right.
That kind of softens hearts and opens doors, we believe, very powerfully in prayer. And as then the relationship happens, we are hoping, it's theory, but I think we'll get there at some point.
Okay.
We're hoping to maybe take some team members from KTSY. We're planning that already, just as kind of the forward edge, but then potentially maybe listeners going to the village as well to see the work.
That would be exciting. Well, there you have it. So we got this partnership, India Partners, KTSY, and you coming together to really get into this battle for souls and for health and for all of it. So give it some thought, join our prayer team, get involved financially, and maybe dust off that passport. Maybe you might be going to India someday. So, David, thanks so much for being with us, for sharing, and can't wait to see where God's going to take this.
Me too. Thank you.
All right.